Alright everyone, we start off talking today about how impeachment is now fundamentally useless. It's sort of like when you call someone a Nazi. Well, 20 years ago it meant they were a Nazi. Now it means you just don't like their political views. By the way, there will be a pinned comment for those watching on YouTube. 4 links will be there to better video hosting sites that I use, especially BitChute because I make exclusive content, but I'm also on Rumble, I'm on Odyssey, and I'm on Dailymotion. These sites don't algorithmically demote and abuse me for being an independent voice that's not under corporate contract. And anyway, link in the description there. You can take a look at their latest news. The House did impeach Trump. This is unprecedented. He got impeached for a second time. I agree that it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented to see so much bullshit aimed at one person. Donald Trump did not in any way incite insurrection. Anyone listening to his speech that thought that he was telling them to go out and do violent things has something wrong with them, I guess, in the verbal faculties department. I would like to say this. The expectation is, because the Senate is run by the GOP, and you need more than a simple majority, I believe, to remove from office anyway there, I do not believe they will remove Trump from office. However, if they do, let's say that retroactively, because there's no way for them to get it done by the 20th. They're not even taking it up until the 19th. Let's say that retroactively they declare that he is officially out of office after he's already out of office, which is largely symbolic. It would be so funny if they attempted to actually charge him. There are so many Democrats right now that you're setting a trap for Joe Biden more than anything else by encouraging him to push the issue of having like the AG crack down on Trump and try to prosecute him for insurrection. There is no legitimacy to the claim. But the House doesn't need legitimacy. It just needs a simple majority in a partisan sense and can do basically whatever it wants. And that's why impeachment is now a partisan and useless sham. It used to generally speaking, you wanted some bipartisan support. They had 10 Republicans sign on to it. They're all never Trumpers anyway. Nobody cares. If you were to try to put Trump on trial, under laws against inciting violence in the United States, inciting a mob, coup, insurrection, sedition, whatever, it would fall flat. The case would end up dismissed. It would never go forward. Because it is so self-evident and cut and dry based on what was said and the claims that are being made about what he meant, that he did not foment an insurrection. That's why Twitter and Facebook, when they put out their pressers explaining why they banned the evil president on Donald Trump, why we banned Orange Man, they didn't say he incited violence. They said people interpreted what he said as inciting violence. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if other people interpret something that you say wrong. If you are being very cut and dry and literal, like Trump said, well, you need to fight harder for your beliefs, essentially. Telling someone to fight for their beliefs is not telling them to take a crowbar and smash a window. I would note that there have been multiple instances in which people who are Democrats in Congress have literally incited violence. Maxine Waters, perhaps the best one of them. We've had Frito, AOC, Maxine Waters, Pelosi, Clinton, and all sorts of other Democrats, in some cases outright incite people, in a sense that would be actionable if there was any accountability in our government, which there's not. Outright incite them, or in other cases at least insinuate and applaud violence. We've seen half of the country, in the political sense, condone violent riots for months. And now they've impeached Donald Trump for supposedly inciting people by telling them to fight more for what they believe in. It's bullshit. And impeachment is therefore a sham. When Nancy Pelosi was, the first time they impeached him for bullshit reasons, they're like, oh, now there's an asterisk over the presidency. Well, I would say that belongs more to Beijing Biden, because he's a Manchurian candidate in the most literal sense. However, this doesn't add an asterisk over the presidency, it adds an asterisk over impeachment proceedings. Because all it is a partisan floor show. It's a sham. And the idea, by the way, that they're going to be able to get Biden, I think, to actually attempt to prosecute Trump after he leaves office for attempting insurrection, he'd be nuts to do that. If you want any possibility of having a mandate at this point, you got to calm the far left down. The problem is, what is the far left not known for doing? Fucking calming down and shutting up. Their whole grift is about complaining about things and then offering you snake oil that lines their pockets. This is what BLM's about, it's what the septics are about, that's the whole fucking point. They claim to stand for the poor. You'll notice the people that run these organizations usually are worth at least 6 figures. Democrats have essentially taken another aspect of the U.S. government and put a clown nose on it. That's what this is. Impeachment is supposed to be solemn, it's supposed to be reserved, and it's supposed to be based on something that would actually be legitimately actionable. Now, that's not to say that things in government always follow solemnity. Boehner was like, oh yeah, when we had that budget showdown there, you could smell the booze on everyone's breath. It smelled like a whiskey hall and stuff like that. The decorum is mostly a facade. But this is the Democrats just not even bothering with the facade and saying, fuck it. Yeah, we're going to impeach him along largely partisan lines for something that we know that it's not true. The only reason big tech shut Trump down, it wasn't to prevent insurrection. It wasn't to prevent him from saying things that might cause violence. It's the most bullshit that I've ever seen. No, it was to prevent him from effectively defending himself. Oops, but there's a Rumble channel that amplifies him now. I think he was briefly on Parler or planned to be. They got fucked. Probably, I think there's a Gab channel that hosts this shit. So, in other words, if you want to hear from any dissident political community now, including those that have literally been elected to office, I guess you have to use alt-tech. Definitely, you should have accounts on all of these platforms. I condemn the Democrats' partisan and stupid move, and the Republicans that voted in favor of impeachment should be primaried out of existence. What's going to happen over the next few years, I think there's going to be huge backlash. People are handing the Dems a mandate. They're trying to give them an inch or two. The Democrats will take a yard. The far left will attack the neoliberals. They're going to rampage against Biden, who, at the end of the day, ironically enough, is more sane than the left despite his dementia. And things are going to fall apart. Look forward to the midterms. I can't wait to see what hell show anarchy that devolves into. Yeah. We're impeaching him for attempted insurrection. Show me one quote from him that in a court of law would be able to be shown to be an attempt to cause an insurrection. It would never stand up. It would be a joke trial if they ever attempted action. No reasonable prosecutor, no reasonable prosecutorial entity would take a look at what Trump said either on Twitter or in his speech and attempt to charge him with inciting a riot. Not a single legitimate prosecutorial entity would be stupid enough to do that for any reason other than writing a book. That's about all. Peace out.